Well, I would say that God threw us a bone today, because from time to time you'll hear us talk about, it almost sounds like we don't like deer hunters. That's not the case. We're deer hunters, we're bow hunters, we're meat hunters, we're not really horn hunters. It's hard to trap hogs during deer season, but we continue with proactive approach. We trap year round. In South Georgia, in Georgia in general, other states that we trap in, they can bait deer with corn. We do it, we're good with that. If it's a hunting property that we trap, we require that the feeder, like this back here, be wrapped with a type of fencing. University of Texas has done a study on it. Got questions, get up with us on it. But it is the way to keep the hogs off the feeders, but the deer can still come in and come out. So this particular property is about 6 months new to us. We picked this location where we're at. We have a tremendously great water source. I mean, we've got a little pond back here. We've got creeks coming in, so we got a wet hole. We got a great big gigantic oak tree right above us. So that's a natural food source just dumping acorns down in here. So why would we not put a semi-permanent trap here? So we dropped a semi-permanent trap down in here 6 months ago. We're running a live video, ran into a few cellular issues, but we're boosting it with a directional antenna. So we're cooking with gas. We're running an ICE camera on the outside like we do everything, and we went ahead and boosted it. I don't think we would have had to, but we went ahead and boosted it with what they call an extended range antenna. So that's all good. But a deer hunter decided to come in here, which is a little bit of a remote location, and literally set a deer stand up right next to our trap, because we are a food source for deer, coons, hogs, and whatever. Now, our 2 cameras didn't catch that, okay? So they knew they were working around cameras, but literally set up a ladder stand into a tree. Now, the whole reason we run feeders, the whole reason we come once a month, is to reduce the amount of human scent. We feel without a doubt human scent is a huge deterrent for hogs. They don't want nothing to do with us. So we noticed like a few hogs outside the gate. Things were kind of odd here, and I was like, yeah, maybe some highly educated hogs. There are trapping systems locally here that still are running trip wires, no cellular cameras, so hogs are getting educated faster than we can trap them. Maybe that was the case. But in this particular case, came in today to do trap maintenance, swapping the batteries, running, checking the feeder, our once a month routine. And I look over, and leaning up against a tree is a ladder stand. And, like, seriously? So it's a good example. The landowner is unaware of this. Somebody just came in here and thought, hey, but they were smart enough to stay out of the view of the cameras. And these things happen. So when you hear us talk about some of the frustrations with deer hunters, that's our frustration, is, properties that we're on, guys will just show up, start shooting hogs in a field. We're trying to trap the group, trespassing, things like that. This is just a perfect classic example. So I'm going to show you that, so that little bit. I mean, it's just like amazed me. I'm just like filling the feeder, and I look over my shoulder, and I'm like, hell, that's a ladder stand. Well, that explains a lot. So hang on. So as you can see, we have a great water source. I mean, it's wet down there. We do put out extra corn after deer season, just so hogs are on the move. We want them to find our corn and lock on. The feeder doesn't push that much corn out every day. Come over here, you'll see we're running a live video camera with a directional antenna. You got to dial that towards your nearest cell tower. Really cool setup here. Massive oak. I mean, these are the big, the big thumb acorns. And then you'll see that we're running a single gate. And then down there's our good old ICE camera. And then you come over here. I mean, you just got to hang on to this one here, right? There you go. So I would say that would probably put some human scent in the area that we don't need, and that would cause us problem when trapping hogs. So hopefully this is like a prime example. God threw us a bone, because we've thought about it before. It's like, how can we articulate some of our frustrations you know, with deer season causing things, you know. Pretty much all the properties we're on, they actually don't hunt. They just want us to trap hogs, and that's the focal point. If it is a hunting property, then the feeders are wrapped, and you know, the hogs can't get in, but the deer can. And then they wander around on those types of properties, and they find an open food source. Just happens to have a Jager Pro gate on it, and it has to happen to have a bunch of freaky people looking at cameras, not playing video games, learning the groups, and then flipping the switch. So hopefully that was a prime example of what we're talking about here. When you get on a property, work out the details. We had those details worked out, but clearly somebody had something else in mind. And it is pretty much screwed up our hog trapping here. And I'm assuming at some point they'll come and get it, or the landowner will remove it and he will have him a ladder stand. So hopefully this video helps. And even though that's a lot of hate, we're still going to try to spread the love.